Last time we were together, we talked about the 7 markers, the 4 dimensions, and the 3 starting points the Praying Church made simple. And I know your facilitator has reviewed those with you already. And we emphasize that inside these are the 3 starting points. The first 2 most critical pieces in the transformation of your church into a house of prayer is kind of a which comes first chicken egg debate, because these 2 dimensions need one another to thrive. New prayer tactics are not enough. Spicing up your prayer offerings in your congregation, in your services, that's not enough. Adding a little prayer will help you for a season, but it will not long endure. It'll be kindling for a larger fire. But small prayer pieces will not provide the fuel necessary for the transformational fire that comes out of the belly, the innermost of hearts that long for God. What you need is a genuine, deep, lasting change. And that means that you got to change the culture of the church. And that means you have to change the habits of people. And that's why so many prayer efforts fail. They're superficial. But the deep change, the change at daily habit level, at cultural level, we don't go after that kind of change. See, too many of our people in evangelical churches are living from Sunday to Sunday. They attempt to live off the praise and the preaching. And though those are vital, they cannot replace daily prayer over an open Bible. Nobody else can hear from God for you like you need to learn to hear from God for yourself. So it's possible now for one to be in Sunday attendance on a regular basis, to stand during the reading of Scripture and the praise music and mouth the words, to be sincerely, but in some strange way, disconnected from the force of their meaning, the word's meaning, to bow reverently when a prayer is offered and place their contribution dutifully in the basket when it passes, and listen quietly, even attentively, to the preaching, and never encounter God. Never engage Him personally. Never respond to Him. I fear millions of people sit in U.S. congregations every Sunday, and they skirt the edges of God, and they never really encounter God, not in a way that is transformational, longing for deep personal change in their own lives. They're content to be in a kind of spiritual slumber without even perhaps realizing that they're in one, not even knowing that there's so much more, a whole world out there to be known and explored. Numbed by the culture, unaware, as Isaiah noted of Israel years ago, of their spiritually wounded state. And only awareness of God can change us and bring us to a place of change. And that demands prayer. Prayer, the kind of prayer that we've not been used to. Changing the culture of the church from prayer that's focused on acquisition, on the exchanges of prayer requests, our needs, with little regard for the needs around us, without understanding the noble use of intercession in which the gift of prayer is given in the spirit of agape to a world. That is a difficult task. It's a rock climbing challenge up a sheer vertical cliff. And that's why there has to be a corporate dimension. This is not accomplished alone. Jesus sustained a powerful prayer life alone. But in Acts, in the book of Acts, His followers sustained a life of prayer in relationship one to another. So the personal prayer life needs the corporate. And yet, it feeds the corporate. The two live one off another, both sustained by the ongoing prayer life of Jesus in heaven right now. In truth, both in private and corporate prayer. We're joining a prayer meeting already in progress. We're joining Jesus in prayer.